My name is Sky Streeter, and this is my final project for assessment techniques. I created an assessment unit of study, and I plan to teach elementary, so that is the area I focus on for this project. The first thing I will cover is standards. Standards are a statement of established levels of achievement on what should be taught, and the standards are set by each state for the schools. When I would use standards in my classroom is when I need to keep track of what's going on with my kids and what I need to focus on and how I should teach and what should be taught. And I will use it by using the techniques I have learned throughout this course and that we will review over this PowerPoint. The first technique that we covered in this course is essential questions. Essential questions require students to think at a more deep level to understand more of what is being taught and learned. Using these questions is needed because some students have unclear answers or they don't understand it fully, so these questions will help them achieve that knowledge. And I will use these to encourage teamwork, collaborations, and use the new technology that is developing rapidly day by day. The next thing is performance tasks. Performance tasks reflect how the knowledge is learned and used in the real world. These tasks are needed when students need to be more engaged in the classroom, when we're losing their focus, when they're not paying attention. These will help them stay on target. I will use challenges and activities that will show off the students' skills and knowledge of what is being learned. Checklists and rubrics are pretty standard, pretty essential for classrooms, and checklists are used to keep track of skills, behaviors, and depositions of students, while rubrics are used more as a grading scale and scoring guide to aid teachers. When using these, we will collect data about students that will help teachers and help the teacher and students stay focused with the lesson. I will use them by keeping giant checklists on the walls or boards within my classroom that shows the students and teacher a visual of what is being met and what's not being met and how we're going to do things. The next thing is graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are visuals that enhance learning for students by adding an extra level to what is being taught. Using these are helpful when when they have the kinesthetic learners who need a visual or a hands-on thing. And I will use these by creating huge, giant, colorful, bright organizers around the room that will reflect what we are learning or what we have learned and what students will continue to need to refer back to throughout the course. Interviews and conferences are a really good idea for students and teachers. Interviews and conferences help teachers gather information that can help see who needs help or what needs attention throughout the classroom, or it can help me figure out what I need to do. Using interviews and conferences help when a teacher notices something not quite right with students, like a certain student as a classroom as a whole. And when I become a teacher, I will use recorders, checklists, and rubrics, like we just talked about, for interviews once every 2 or so weeks in my class, because it will help me stay on track with students and my lessons and if I need to change anything. Teacher-made tests are tests that are written or oral assessments that aren't standardized and are created by the teacher designed for her or his or her specific class. Using these tests will allow teachers to track where students are and if they're struggling or not. Giving a test once a week or every 2 weeks after a lesson will help students keep focused and help them become more comfortable taking tests, since there are so many standardized tests that students must take throughout their year. And that is my final project, and I have enjoyed this class and I loved it, and I've learned a lot, and I hope to continue to learn a lot throughout until this class is over, and I will use a lot of these techniques in my classroom.